With Aquaman and The Last Kingdom right around the corner, it's not surprising that we're hearing reception from the final wave of audience tests. And according to multiple reports that are now being collaborated by Variety, this film is really bad. Nobody wants to take ownership of it, and test audiences have deemed it garbage. So I've said this before, when it comes to test audiences, you never know what way they're gonna go. Sometimes test audiences have said something is bad, turned out to be alright to sometimes great. Sometimes it's the opposite effect, right? Sometimes you get something like Age of Ultron, which the test audiences and Disney internally thought was too boring when it was long and that there was too much character development, so they cut it out. But again, you got to take these things with a grain of salt because different audiences, different scores, reception, and all that. What we've heard consistently, though, over the course of the last 2 years is that Aquaman 2 is a jumbled mess, that it's bad, that it's incoherent, and that every test audience that's ever been tested with any version of the film does not like most of it. Now we're hearing that the film has been deemed pretty much unfixable. They're tossing it out there, hence the late marketing. And essentially, they're hoping to just catch hype from the first film, but that's really it. Furthermore, Variety's reporting that nobody on this film is wanting to take ownership of it and fully stamp it as their own film, because that's how bad it's testing and what the results are expected to be. So more or less what we're getting here is everybody is trying to wash themselves clean of it before it comes out so they can't take the blame. Now, test audiences for these types of films over the last couple of years have become somewhat more varied, let's put it that way. We've talked about Marvel Studios. Around Avengers Infinity War, they stopped all audience testings. They don't do them anymore. So test audiences for Disney films, specifically MCU, those do not exist. DC still do, which is how we get all these full leaks because they're very public. And you can literally get into these by walking down a street and somebody's like, hey, you want to watch a film? You'll be like, yeah, sure. They'll take you and watch Aquaman 2. I know a friend who had that literally happen with Blue Beetle. So this does happen. It is something, and I am starting to believe all these reports because so many different outlets and different sources have all said the same thing. And something I've heard of that only one outlet mentioned that I know is a fact because somebody confirmed it to me and nobody else could possibly know this stupid little tiny obscure detail makes me believe all these reports I'm hearing that are collaborating some of these things as true. And yes, this one reference is a very niche Aquaman fanboy thing, and nobody would know it unless they're diehard Aquaman fans, so that's how I know the report is real, trust me.